All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the man who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to Akim and Yufuakwath, your men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Sure, Brother Michael Allah coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Lord willing to edify. And the title of this lesson is simply, The Evil Man Won't Prevail. You see, and this is concerning, you Edomites, which you so-called white people, you're not going to prevail. You see, because as you're seeing the way the system is moving, you see Esau setting up AI everywhere. He's setting up these data centers. And it's ultimately prepping and preparing the people to be ready for that MOTB, that microchip, to be implemented. You see? And as well as this NWO system, to be implemented as well, where they're going to desire to have literally the control of the minds of the people, you see? Because Esau has a God complex, and he has been deceived in his own mind to think that he is Yahweh Shema Shah. You see? Let's prove that. And that's ultimately pride, And for you Edomites having that pride, mainly you top wicked elites, you're not taking into consideration that the Lord has already predestined your destruction from the beginning. You see, the Lord, he said he declared the end from the beginning. You see, but this is Obadiah 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And this is the mindset of you Edomites. And Obadiah is going into the mindset of Edom, the mindset of Esau, you see, which are you so-called white people. But mainly you top wicked elites, man. You see, you've been deceived by your own way of thinking, You have been given that same pride, and your mind has been hardened by Yahweh Shema Shah, just like what the Lord did to Pharaoh, man, during the time of ancient Egypt, when he had his chosen people, which are the Israelites, which consist of you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans today, when he had us in captivity, and was putting hard bondage upon us, and he would not let us go, because the Lord hardened his mind. You see? But what was the outcome of that at the end? What was the ending of that? Well, it was Pharaoh and his army being destroyed by Yahweh Shema Shai. And that was a real event, because you have Esau's archaeologists that has discovered Pharaoh and his army's chariots, certain swords, and different weapons during that time, So it definitely happened. That was a real event. And the Lord is going to do the same thing to you Edomites. You see, he's going to destroy you. Right now, you're sitting on your high horse, just like we just read, whose habitation is high, that saith in his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? So you honestly believe nobody can take you down because you have your military backing you. You control the laws and legislations of the land. You completely disregard the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You disregard the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, because you think you is God, man. It says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars, that's your space stations, thence your satellites, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So really the Lord through Obadiah gave you the answer to your prideful question. You see, who shall bring me down to the ground? Well, it's Yahweh Shemal Shai that's going to bring you Edomites down to the ground. That's why the Lord said, now is your time to what? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. You see, now is your time to rejoice. Live it up while you can. Because once you out of here, you out of here. Once the Lord destroys you, it's not no returning to rebuild. It's not no build back better. No, that's going to be a thing of the past. You see? Let's go here. It says, it's Proverbs 24. Matter of fact, let me go to Psalms. Yeah, let's start at Psalms. This Psalms 10 and verse 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. You see? So the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, in his pride is about to get ready and persecute the poor in these times. And who would be the poor? That would be those of us that return back to Yahweh Shemal Shai first and foremost, as well as you 2/3 out there. You see? Because Israel is the poor. But, just peeling back, that veil a little bit more, that's really talking about those of us that return back to Yahweh Shemal Shai. Because even Yahweh Shai said, some of us will be brought before kings and princes, man, for a testimony, you see? But it says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, you see? Because the Lord eventually is going to lift up their standard. And that's something that you Edomites are taking lightly, you see? Because it even tells you in, Wisdom of Solomon, let us see if his words be true. So this man's going to test, to see if Yahweh Shemal Shai is going to lift up that standard, you see, on our behalf. It says, for the wicked boast of himself. So hold on. It says, for the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. You see? So Esau's boasting in his data centers right now. He's boasting in the fact on how he views the people as cattle and useless eaters, and how he plans on killing billions of people on the planet Earth, just to fulfill his NWO. He's boasting in himself. The nigga got plans for 2100. They got a whole calendar with 2100 on there. And this nigga's next breath ain't even promised. It shows you the pride that the Lord put on this man. And we know that pride is hateful before Yahweh Shemal Shai. And we know that pride goeth before destruction. And guess what? We're in Pride Month, man. You see? We're in Pride Month. But pride goeth before destruction, man. You see? And that's what you Edomites are not accounting for. Even you regular peon ass Edomites. You think you think just because gas then went down that man, them guys was just talking shit. We still got the best military missile defense system. We still get to bully countries and put sanctions on people. All y'all talking about Russia coming up against us, but and these different countries coming up against us, but we're planning, we're gonna eventually have a peace treaty. Trump been pushing that peace and safety spirit, but showing that the Lord controls the minds of the kings. that shit ain't holding up, man. You see? They talk about peace one minute, then the next minute it's back to war, because that's the season and the times that we in. We're in the time of war. We're not in the time of peace, man. And we're in the time of the fulfillment of the will of the Lord. It says the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And that's why you Edomites need to be destroyed, man. There's no need for you on the earth. You see? And the Lord's going to take your ass out. See, we not saying that we finna, because this how he want to paint this picture, like the Israelites are going to conjure up a carnal plan to try to come against him and his system. No. We depending on Yahweh Shemal Washai to step in on our behalf and to destroy you, man. You see? All we doing is speaking your demise into existence through the Holy Spirit. You see? Because what a word of a king is, there's power. You see? That's why the prophet's been raised up to rebuke you. You see? It says his ways are always grievous. Remember, the Most High is not in this man's thoughts. Look how wicked this world is. Look how upside down life is, man. People don't even know how to live life here. Your average person wakes up every single day thinking that his main objective is to pay bills, probably take a trip, you know, get him a wife, get on one knee, you know what I mean, have some kids, and grow old and die with a cabinet full of goddamn doctor pills, man. You see? That's not how the Most High intended for life to be, man. You see? You have no freedom, you know? It says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Yeah, and that's what's going to get you destroyed, because you are puffing at Iran, you know. You puff at Russia, you puff at Lil Pooty, you know. And these are the same countries. You even puff at your own allies, man. And these are the same countries that the Lord is going to eventually put the spirit on to shoot thermonuclear missiles over here at Babylon the Great to destroy this place, man. You see? It says, he saith in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. You see? That's this man's mindset. Proverbs 24:19. It says, fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. And that's why, you know, we're not to envy this man, the fact that he's ruling. Because we understand prophecy. The Lord has blessed us to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And we know that this man has an end date. Here it is. We're in the, America celebrating its 250th year of its establishment. And Apostle Ha went into it a long time ago, how the lifespan of an average kingdom was 250 years, man. You see? So what makes you think that Esau is going to have an extended rule for an extra 100 years or extra 1,000 years down the line? Absolutely not. The Lord's not going to do that, man. I speak as a man, but that's just the truth. Because if you viewing things through prophetic lenses, it's no way in hell this kingdom can continue that long. It's no way. You see? That's why this man's trying to throw all these bread and circuses out here with the FIFA games. You know, you just had New York to win the championship. You know, here it is in FIFA. USA is beating everybody ass. You know, you having these different appearances by like Mexico. They ain't been seen, you know what I mean, on this great of a soccer stage in like 40 years. You know, but he's trying to keep the mirth of this place going. But nigga, you can't heal Babylon, man. It don't matter what you do. You see, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. It says, for there shall be no reward to the evil man. And who is the evil man? Esau, Edom. And this is what you Israelites need to understand. This man has an end. See, the problem with our people, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you truly don't believe that a higher power can take this nigga out. And you don't believe that a higher power set this nigga up, man, to be taken out of power. You think this nigga did this on his own because you cleave to his false philosophies and doctrines that had you to think that, you know what I mean, you can do this, do as thou wilt shit. Or you got free will. If you just make the right decision, you could fulfill your dreams. Or some crazy shit. No. The Lord, man's goings is of the Lord. It says, the candle of the wicked shall be put out. You see? So this man is going to be done away with. And who's going to replace him? The Israelites, starting with our Lord Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to rule once America is destroyed. You see? Sirach Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 3. I'm going to jump around. It says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And Esau is an unwise king. Nigga throwing tires in the ocean. Nigga got oil in the ocean. You know. Nigga making nigga lock an animal up in a cage. You know what I mean? In a small confided space. You know what I mean? Leave them in a box. You know, just for people to come and look at them and take pictures and shit. You know, nigga have a goddamn lion behind thick ass glass, you know, walking around in circles. You see? When a lion is supposed to be free. Animals in general are supposed to be free. Hell, even your own dog. Your own goddamn dog is supposed to be free. Your dog ain't supposed to be on no goddamn chain, man. Your dog ain't supposed to have no fucking shock collar around his neck. You see? It says, but under this man's rule, everything is oppressed. You see? It says the power of the earth is in the hands of the Lord. See, the power of the earth is controlled by Yahweh Shema Shai. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's the Israelites, starting with the elect. You see? That's going to be profitable because once the Lord removes this king Esau Edom and sets up the Israelites, that's when life is going to flourish. That's when everybody's going to learn how the Most High was literally intended for life to be, you know? It says, verse 7, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, you see? Why is earth and ashes proud? You see? And look, this is how this man has gotten his kingdom. Through unrighteous dealings, riches gotten by deceit. Nigga done stole all the inventions that Jake done invented and just capitalized off of it. And then put Jake at the bottom. Jake don't get no benefits. Then turn around and tell Jake to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You lazy. You don't work hard enough. You don't deserve to have this. You don't deserve to have that. You know? Just dealing in complete unrighteousness. You see? Proving that they're not the people of the Lord, man. You see? That's another telltale sign that shows you ain't no way in hell you can have trillions and billions of dollars. You got billionaires here. Trillionaires in earth. But in your own kingdom, your own people are starving to death. You see? You have homeless people, but you have the whole earth where you can spread people out. But what he does, he'll rather have you confined to a one bedroom apartment or a studio apartment with like fucking 400 square feet, or a 2 bedroom with about 900 to 1,000 square feet. You know, that's not enough room, man, to where you listening to your own neighbor deal with his woman. Now they arguing at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you got work at 5 in the morning. It says, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. See, and there's Esau. For such a one set of his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. The physician, is the point, cutteth off a long disease. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. See, so the evil man won't prevail. So you're a king right now, Esau. But the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is coming back to destroy everything that you stole. You see? So Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.